Democrats have been having a lot of donor retreats lately where liberal strategists hold ideathons, where they try to figure out why they keep losing elections. You know, apart from using words like ideathon.
Maher says that one popular idea he keeps hearing is that the Democrats need to find their own Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a very popular podcaster who many people listen to. The idea is that Democrats need someone popular like him to get their message out. But Bill Maher thinks this is the wrong way to look at the problem. He asks a much simpler and much tougher question.
Instead of conjuring up a new Joe Rogan, ask yourself why you lost the old one.
That is the main point of his whole argument. He says the real issue isn't about finding new friends, but figuring out why your old friends left. This is the story of why some normal, middle-of-the-road voters feel pushed away.
No, they just got driven away.
Maher's point is that these guys are not extremists. Their minds can be changed. He says the same thing is true for Elon Musk. He points to a chart Musk tweeted, which showed that Musk still felt he was in the political center, but that the left had moved so far away that they now saw him as an enemy.
Because that's how politics works these days. One side gets elected precisely because the other side was just in power and pushed their agenda way too far and drove people in the opposite direction.
He believes they were pushed out. He says they got tired of the bad attitudes and bad ideas from some parts of the left. He talks about the attempts to cancel Joe Rogan, which is when people try to get someone fired or deplatformed for saying something they disagree with. He also mentions how some actors on the show, Saturday Night Live, gave Elon Musk the cold shoulder just because he was rich. Maher believes it's this kind of behavior that pushes normal, middle-of-the-road people away from the Democratic Party.
You know who's easy to beat in a fight? A drunk.
Basically, when one party gets in power and goes too far with its ideas, it makes people uncomfortable. So, in the next election, the people swing all the way back and vote for the other party. Maher says this is the big opportunity that Democrats are missing right now. He argues that the Republican Party has gone too far to the extreme, and because of that, they should be easy to beat. He uses a very simple comparison.
Even the deporting of illegals, which America generally supports, is pissing people off now. I read a story last week about this town of Kennett, Missouri, where just about everyone voted for Trump, but now is pissed because ICE removed their favorite waitress, a beloved local mother of 3 named Carol Hui, currently facing deportation back to Hong Kong.
He says the Republicans are drunk with power and are pushing ideas that most people, even their own voters, don't actually want. He gives examples like big new taxes on products from other countries, or getting the government involved in people's private lives. To show how this can backfire, he tells a real story about a small town in Missouri that voted for Donald Trump.
One local woman said, "No one voted to deport moms. We were all under the impression we were just getting rid of the gangs."
Then he shares what a woman from the town said, which shows how people can be surprised when policies become real.
When you elect a bull to run through the china shop, sometimes the china that gets broken is you.
Maher uses this story to make a powerful point about voting for extreme changes.
42% of MAGA voters say Medicaid is important to them. Let's see if they miss it.
The final big idea, the main takeaway from all of this, is what Maher calls a strange contradiction. He says that because Democrats can sometimes seem snobby and out of touch, Republicans have been able to successfully claim that they are the party of the working class. This has been a very successful strategy for them. But Maher says, if you look at the actual policies, it's a different story. He points directly to Donald Trump's proposed budget. In that budget, Trump proposed a $723 billion cut to Medicaid, which is the government health insurance program for low-income people. This is where the strange contradiction becomes clear. He reveals one last important fact. So, the party that calls itself the party of the working class is proposing to cut a program that almost half of its own voters say is important to them. This is the final confusing puzzle of modern politics that Maher leaves us with. One party, the Democrats, seems to be losing support because their cultural attitudes push people away. The other party, the Republicans, seems to be proposing policies that would actually hurt the economic interests of many of their own voters. The great unanswered question of our time is, which of these two problems will voters decide is the worse one?